Um, Wanted to shoot a video to basically be the start of a series that actually started a while ago, but I haven't been posting the videos. I started in the beginning posting the videos and then I stopped. As you all know, I was training for, originally I started training for the tactical games. And then as I started doing my training, I realized I should never just train for one event. I just need to train, and everything else will kind of fit in if I'm training correctly, is the way I see it. So this is all started out, like I said in the beginning, I was seeking someone to train me for tactical games, and it just turned into an array of things I've always wanted to learn and I feel like everyone should know. And so I began my journey of training in December. So right here is what 3 months of training, about 3.5 weeks. I say 3 because 3 of those weeks I was gone on a TDY. So I was at the gym, but I wasn't training. It was a really weird time. But I just competed last weekend, exactly a week ago. This was last Saturday. It's a 2-day event in the tactical games. I did the women's intermediate division and I placed 3rd here in Holt, Florida. I went through a lot. 3 months of training, so I'm gonna just go over it really quick. And then what's going to start is you're gonna start seeing all the videos of training. I'm doing this because a couple people have called me out because they're like, you have a YouTube channel and you're not really posting anything at all. And then my TikTok, I'm only posting shorts. I got to the point where I didn't want people to see my training, because when I started this story, there were people who I don't think believed in me, didn't understand while I was doing this. So I got to the point where actually I planned to disappear off of social media. And my instructor, my new instructor, was like, no, stay on there, let everybody see your journey, because you are inspiring people, especially as a woman, especially somebody 41 years old. Like, my body is killing me right now, but I get up every day and I go do it anyway. So how this all began, I became involved with an organization called Warrior Women International, and they were having a retreat event in Texas at Staccato Ranch. And it's going to be the event, Tactical Games Nationals, is going to be going on there. So I went to the event and kind of was looking for, I was looking for like-minded women to be around, train with, who had similar beliefs. Went there and I saw the tactical games and I was like, I wonder if I can do this. Like, I just became very interested in it. And so when I came home from the event, I started looking into the tactical games and talked to some people about it, and they were just kind of like, why are you doing it? You're not ready. That's a lot to do. What's the point? So many things I was hearing, but my mind was adamant on training for this. So that was at the beginning of November. By November the 11th, I had a coupon for the tactical games app, like their workout. So I signed up for it, and a little later on, I finally picked up and started doing those workouts during that month. But it still wasn't enough. I needed help with the shooting. Not saying I wasn't a strong shooter, but I'm new to shooting, but not that style of shooting. Like, this is not standing still and just kind of firing some shots at a target and hoping it happens. It's going to be a lot more. Couldn't find anybody to actually help me. I got very, very, I was really down, because I was like, I am not going to find anybody. So I had 2 prior instructors that are in Jacksonville. So the last Sunday of the month, I was supposed to go, it was going to be my first time shooting I was going to go shoot a competition. I was like, this is the only way I'm going to get the experience I need to get ready for tactical games to start shooting competitions. So the last Sunday of November, I was in Jacksonville. Unfortunately, one couldn't make it, and then the other one couldn't make it. So I drove, after driving almost halfway there, I drove back home, and I got on my phone immediately, started playing around on Instagram, and I saw someone who I was already following had just like won first place in a competition that was similar to tactical games, and I saw someone else had also placed 3rd. So I was like, oh, well, I don't follow this person, so I went and followed them. They immediately hit me back and was like, where do you shoot? I said, I shoot, in Holt, Florida. And we started talking, and I was kind of saying what I was trying to do and all this other stuff. So he was like, why don't you come out and train with us, the company's name is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I know who that is, which is, I don't know why I said blah, blah, blah. Strategic Dynamics. That's who I train with. And I said, I know who that is. I had already did research into them a little while ago to train with them, but I just had been following them on Instagram, and that was it. I hadn't actually reached out to train with them. And so I was like, sure. So that Saturday, December the 2nd, was the first day I showed up to train with my potentially new instructor. Can't say they were my instructor yet because it's my first time training with him. But he did his homework. He went through and watched my videos, saw my old stuff. I showed up to my first session, and he already knew what my opportunities were before I even got a chance to say. Even I did tell him some things, he was like, I already know what's going on. So I got there to my first session, started working with things. Actually, before we even started the session, we were talking about the app that I was using for the workouts. So I handed it to the owner of the company, and he looks at it and he's like, don't do this. I'm telling you right now, he's like, I've won at tactical games before. Doing this is not going to get you there. It may work for other people, but he was like, don't do that. You need to cancel that app. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Because I was like, the workouts I did have before, I didn't think was going to be enough. So they were already like, cancel that app. And then the other one was like, when he started training with me, he was like, we're going to work on some things because I saw some things already wrong with you from your videos. And I began a journey, a 3.5-month journey of getting ready for the tactical games, which later turned into just me straight up training. So after I trained with them, it was another week or two, I began a serious session with them. So I went out there and did like 3-4 days of from sun up to sundown, some training with them. You will see those videos soon. Took like 3 days off because I had to go to work. It was like the end of Christmas time. No, actually it was like around like December 16th going into like through the 20th and stuff. I had a couple days off from work. So I turned around and it was like 2-3 days, and then went back and did like 4 more days. So ultimately, I did within like a week and a half, I did a week of training from sun up to sundown. Went over a bunch of different things. And then after that, it was kind of like a little bit of training here and there, leading up into the month of January. We decided for my training that obviously I needed to get into shooting matches and competitions. So this is how this journey of training for the tactical games turned into something different. My first match happened the third Sunday of January. I drove to Atlanta on my own. Neither one of them could make it with me. It's my first time doing a match, and I drove out of town to go up to Atlanta to the pit and shoot my first rifle match. I did pretty good. And I couldn't believe, I was just like, wow. So that footage will be coming. First match. About 2 weeks later, I did my first pistol match because I needed to get some practice in there. I was actually supposed to do that earlier in January, but it got canceled, so I didn't do it till February. Major opportunities. I can tell you right now to this day, and that was the first Saturday of February, I still haven't watched all the footage. I am trained to know where my shots are going, like how they feel, everything. I felt my horrible shooting. I thought it was a little off, but then I realized later it was just way off. It was a lot going wrong, but all of this was getting me out there to see how I react, how I just naturally react during the stress of a match or competition. So then followed up, I think about 2-3 weeks later, I shot a 2-gun match. Big improvement on my pistol, because my pistol right there, sitting right there, I was ready to toss it out the window after that pistol match. That pistol match, it almost broke me. My instructor heard it in my voice. He said, you sound like you're about to quit. Wasn't going to quit. I just felt like maybe I was moving too fast to do the tactical games. So I was like, maybe I just need to, maybe I just need to chill. Maybe I don't need to do this. So, but he was like, nope, you will be fine. Like, it's your first time. I also, after the 2-gun, I talked to a friend of mine in Atlanta at the pit about how the pistol one went. And she was like, give yourself at least five matches before you go, like, you don't know what you're doing, you got to do this, blah, blah, blah. Because she was like, it's your first one. You can't expect to be great on your first one. I was like, you know what? That made so much more sense. So yes, I was nervous going into that 2-gun like 3 weeks later, but I got there, shot the first stage. I timed out on everything. I don't even think I've loaded up any of that footage, so that's going to come too. I timed out on everything, but my hits were a lot better, especially my pistol. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, so I do know how to shoot with a pistol, because I'm telling you that pistol match, it made me feel like I didn't know what I was doing with a pistol, but it was a lot of stress on me. So after the 2-gun match, my spirits was up a little higher, still doing all my training and stuff. And then I had to leave. Couple days later, I had to leave for a TDY, and I knew it was going to mess me up, because I was going to be 3 weeks of me away from my guns and away from the gym, because we were not driving our own vehicles down there. I worked it out. I managed to keep my vehicle with me. I managed to keep my guns with me. I wasn't on base, so we don't have that problem. But I was off base. But I wasn't able to train with my guns because there was no range. It was only indoor ranges, and I couldn't do indoor ranges. So I just went to the gym. I did do some things. I learned how to climb a rope, and that was one thing I was like, I'm not burping out. So I got some things done, but I felt myself go a little backwards. Came home after those 3 weeks, and I had 1 week to train and then 1 week to rest for the match. I was nervous. Didn't think it was gonna go well. Just because I was like, oh my God, I feel like I might have got weak during these 3 weeks. You know, all kind of things were going through my head, but I got to the point where I was like, hey, this is it. You're gonna get this done. So it came the day of the match, and well, I will say this, before we even got to that match, my instructors were coming through Atlanta. The Sunday before before tactical games, I drove to Atlanta. Wasn't planning on shooting. It was a pistol match. Wasn't planning on shooting, but part of me was like, you need to shoot, because you are still wonky since that day about your pistol. You only shot 1 match since then. So I drove to Atlanta to meet my instructors coming through, and they were going to shoot the match. I went up there and I shot the match also. I have that footage too. Haven't posted that. So there goes my 4th match leading up to tactical games. And then so I came home. That really did throw me off, but I managed to keep it together. I came home and I rested up that 1 week, trying to heal up my knees, because my knees were killing me, to get ready for the tactical games. I went, I competed, and pretty much the end of it is I placed 3rd in my division. So with all this, I'm gonna give you all my journey, because a lot of people have been asking, like they for the little bit of stuff I've been posting, they saw the changes. I just haven't posted anything. And so today when I got on the live with somebody, they were saying, I know there's more video. There's gotta be, because there was a big difference from what happened. Like, you literally saw me shooting like crap to like all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's shooting good and she just won a match. So I'm gonna put that up there because a lot of people have talked to me since then. And they're like, I want to do the tactical games, or me, I'm trying to get them to do the tactical games. I'm like, it's not as hard as you think it is. It's very doable if you put your mind to it. I managed to get ready for it in place in 3 months. If you'd asked me that 3 months ago, I didn't believe it could happen. But my instructors of strategic dynamics are amazing. They're not only instructors, they're really good with fitness too, because they help me out there. Like, they help me out in a lot of areas. I needed to get myself prepared, some guidance to get myself prepared for what I managed to pull off in 3 months. It's a lot. And those videos, I will be posting those videos like almost every 2 days, because I want to get that stuff out there to you guys. I may drop some videos back off my page and reload them up with better commentary and stuff. But yeah, one thing I do want to talk about, because I made a video about this and I never posted it. So this right here is my training book. I decided to have this training book because when I was talking to my instructor, he was just like, do you write your notes and stuff down? And I was like, kind of, but I haven't had any training at the level where I needed to write notes down. And he was giving me a lot. And I was like, yo, I need to write this down. I need to write this down. There was another book. There's another one that's smaller, but I transferred everything to here. And then eventually I divided it up because we were going over so much stuff. So this is my training book. I got and it's got tabs in it. So it's got pistol basics in here. It's got, let's see, rifle basics. I got stuff about my optics because I got so many different, I got LPVO, I got red dots. I got this small like offset 45. Everything had some little different things about it, and I was trying to learn what I needed to learn and understand it, so I was writing notes about that. The newest thing I had added to this book was my competitions, because this first, the first one in Atlanta that I had, January 21st, there it is, the stages were given. So because it was my first time, I wrote out all the stages, wrote out everything on there, went over it. Me and my instructor went over the stages, and we talked about like how to navigate the stage, because it was going to be my first time and I was going to be by myself. When to reload, all kinds of stuff, because they had given the round counts and all that. In this book also afterwards, after I completed the stage, I went back and I reviewed my video. That is the reason why I'm not a content creator. I'm just showing you my journey. My videos are for me to actually see how I perform. That's why I don't always post them, because it's not content. It's just training videos. So I went back and reviewed my videos, and I wrote down everything that I saw that I had did wrong. And then I had my instructor, I sent the videos to him, and then he gave me what he saw I did wrong, and to see if we matched up. Because like I said earlier, the way I'm trained, I know what's right and I know what's wrong. The question usually is asked is, what did you do? Do you know what you did wrong? And it's, I need to know the answer, because I can't just be out there throwing shots down the range. Like, I need to understand, like, yeah, that shot just went bad because I felt my finger wrong on the trigger, or I wasn't gripping it good enough, or something like that, blah, blah, blah. So this is why we did this. So I did that for that first one. The second one, the pistol one, because like I said, it went so bad, I barely wrote the notes in here. I couldn't handle it, so I didn't write any of that down. But like, here's the stage for the 2-gun one I did. I still got the stage stuff in here. And then I added another section, which was tactical competitions, because those ones are a little different. And I wrote down like a bunch of stuff I needed in regards to getting ready for the tactical games, my packing list, needed items, all that stuff. So this book right here may seem like a lot to most people, but this is how I retain my information, and this is how I pass the information on to other people for them to have the correct information. I have amazing instructors. Their information is a lot, and it's very important, so I never want to forget it, so I write it down. So this has been a big help for me with my training. It's just been a great help, because like, I feel like if you're, at least what I'm paying an hour, if you're walking away and you ain't really learned anything that you feel like, yeah, I need to write this down, I need to remember this, and it's, I don't know, because I ain't gonna get on that subject about some of these people out here being instructors, taking people's money, and they ain't teaching them anything, and people don't realize it because they don't know any better. But I realize it and I know better, and my instructors are amazing, and that's why I have this book now. Of course, I have started writing it recently, because my anxiety is really bad when it comes to matches, and this was getting out of hand. It was actually probably helping my anxiety. That's why when I went to Atlanta the week before tactical games, I had the stage briefs. I didn't read them. I didn't prep. I just walked out there and just decided to shoot, because that's what I was going to do. I said, I am not going to stress myself out. Same thing with the tactical games. The stages, when I finally realized the stages dropped because I had been waiting on them, it was midnight. I had to be back up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, I ain't reading these stages. I'll figure it out in the morning. And I closed my phone and laid down and tried to get as much sleep as I could, because I knew it was going to be a long day. So that's the gist of what's to come. Why I got on this thing for tactical games, where I started there and then it took me off. I finished that competition. I went and did it because it was already on my list of things to do, but there's so much more that's to come. But until then, because I'm not telling what's to come, until then, I am going to be giving you all a review of the past of what got me here, how we were able to achieve this so fast, how much work it took, even to the point There's a lot of shooting because you guys only see the guns and stuff. There was way more of mine. Spirituality, I had to like kick in. My self-healing, I had to work on. My nutrition, I had to work on. I actually went to a nutritionist. So I got the notes from, let's back up. Before I went to the nutritionist, one of my first days of sessions with my instructor, we went to the gym and I actually had a whole analysis done on my body. There's like little machine you stand on and stuff. So I had a layout of everything for my body, but I never took it. I never went any further past that. It's still hanging on my wall in my room. So before tactical games, I actually went to a nutritionist because I was like, I don't think I'm eating enough for the muscle I'm trying to put on. So we sat down and we talked about what the things I was doing, and that's some other things I did. Like it was a lot, but it was in prep, not just for this. It was just in prep for, I told her the things I'm doing and what I see myself doing in the future, and she was like, this is what you need to do. So it is a journey, and you guys are going to get bombarded with it over the next, like I say, couple of weeks, month max. I want to get it all out there and it'll be there. And I hope it inspires people, male or female. It inspires people to see it's not hard when you put your mind to it. I mean, I told this is just straight dedication. It wasn't motivation. It's straight dedication. I wrote it down. I made the plan. And I achieved it. So it is very possible for any of y'all to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. How long is this video? Yeah, I done rambled on long enough. It's late as I don't know what, because I work night shift, so I decided to shoot this after I settled in. But yeah, I'm gonna load this up, and tomorrow I will have the first video. I believe, yeah, I do have the first video, the first day of training with my instructors. And I will say, so the video that's to come, my first day of training, my very first day of training with them, there is no footage for that. So it is what it is. But when we started preparing for tactical games, I have the footage of that day. That day consisted of me being a, test dummy for the stages for a competition they were putting on at my range here. What they did was they had me run through the stages because I was a person who had no experience. I've never done one gun lesson, let alone 2-gun competition. But it was to see how a person with no skill would perform during these stages. So of the 5 stages they had for this competition that was happening the following day, I ran through 4 of them. Didn't so much pay attention to my time, but it was just seeing how it feels to go through them. So I have that footage. I will be loading that up. I only have footage of 3 of the stages. I'll be loading those 3 stages. So that's what's to come of what started, where the training for the tactical games begin. So on that note, I'm saying bye, because I am going to go to sleep for at least a couple of hours so I can pop back up and start this over. You all have a nice night.